Commercial break over. Welcome back to the Ben Joravsky Show, live from Chicago on WCPT 820.
A couple days ago, we had Mark Gately and Christina Sahorek on. They were talking about their candidacy for State Central Committeeman in the 4th Congressional District. And soon thereafter, we got a Facebook message for Peter Janko saying, hey, I'm running too. And his running mate is Alison Squires. And you know what? Fair is fair. They're right here. They're going to talk about their candidacy, what they want the Democratic Party to do, what they want the Democratic Party to be. Folks, it's important. Now, even you folks who don't live in the 14th Congressional District, you have to understand you're grappling with these same issues. What direction do you want the Democratic Party to head off into as we head off into a very contentious election year this year? And then let's not forget 2020 right around the corner. So Peter Janko and Alison Squires are here. We're going to bring them on. But first, Chicago News with Mark Vasco.
Thanks very much. Police say a father who disappeared with his 2 young children is considered a person of interest in the fatal shooting of their mother in Markham. Authorities say 27-year-old Lakeisha Roby died early yesterday, and according to police, she had earlier been seen arguing with Lynn Washington, the children's father. Family members say a Nobel Prize-winning Purdue University chemistry professor was confused, dehydrated, and searching for help when his wife's body was found at a northern Illinois landfill. The relatives told WTHR-TV in Indianapolis that 80-year-old Samir Nagishi was near the end of her battle with Parkinson's disease and was traveling with her husband, 82-year-old Professor Eiichi Nagishi, before deputies found her body just south of the Rockford International Airport. I'm Mark Vasco. Here local news, traffic, and transit every half hour on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820. Now more of the Ben Joravsky Show. Ben, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. Ben Joravsky here with me in the studio. Peter Janko, Alison Squires. Welcome, one and all. All right, very good. Let's get down to it. Peter, why don't you start? You're running for State Central Committeeman in the 4th Congressional District. Why are you running? What do you hope to achieve?
Okay, the reason I'm running is I kind of responded to Bernie Sanders' call for ordinary people to kind of step forward and get involved in the political process. And more or less, I'm for the progressive agenda, but my pet project, so to speak, right now is I'm looking for fair and unbalanced primaries. It kind of sickens me to see Democrats attacking Democrats, and I'm going to do what I can to try and change the culture.
Alison?
I'm running for State Central Committeewoman because I want the Democratic Party to represent voters and not special interest. I believe that that's why we have unaffordable health care. I believe that that's why we're afraid to send our children to school and why we don't have common sense gun laws. I think that it's money in politics that causes us not to have a progressive income tax in Illinois and why our pension system is such a mess. And I just want all of it to stop.
All right, now let's take it point by point, starting with the point you made, Peter. Fair and unbalanced primaries, Democrats attacking each other. Before you came on, we were playing excerpts of last night's Democratic gubernatorial debate where the 3 leading candidates in terms of the polls were going at it. Do you find anything beneficial coming out of a debate where they're really slinging mud?
No, actually I don't, because what I found in canvassing is it turns the voters off. I mean, we've lost over 1,000 seats since 2008. People just don't want to come out and vote anymore. They don't want to volunteer. They're just not engaged. They're just tired of everything that's happening. I believe what the party should do is they should showcase all of the candidates equally, and I believe in survival of the fittest. You know, every candidate should be able to run without thumbs on the scale. And my belief is the candidate that wins the primary on their own without interference is most likely to win the general election.
Alison, do you think that there was anything beneficial that came out of last night's debate where they were going at each other? Do you think the voters learned things?
Well, I think that you have to set yourself apart from your opponent. So there's room for some criticism. And I think you have to, set yourself apart from your opponent. But I think that you still, at the end of the day, need to give the voters a reason as to why they need to vote for the Democrats or you. And I think that we need a populist, progressive message to do that. So I think that you need to get that point across.
All right, so give us a reason why voters in the 14th should vote for you.
Well, I just think that I'm the most progressive candidate, and I think that the 14th congressional district is a progressive congressional district. Bernie Sanders won it by almost 60%, and I think the voters in the 14th congressional district deserve progressive representation, and that's why.
When Peter, you're running with Alison as a tag team. You're the state committeeman. She'd be state committee woman. Picking up on what she was saying, Bernie Sanders did very well in the 14th congressional, which leads me to believe that on economic issues, the 14th is to the left. Do you think that the Democratic Party as a whole in the state of Illinois has drifted too far to the right?
Well, first of all, the 14th congressional district is a very large area, and the eastern part of it is more progressive, but once you go into the western part, and especially McHenry County, that's not really the case anymore. On the McHenry County board, 23 out of the 24 voting board members are Republicans. So we're not getting the message across. We're losing voters. You know, they're just tuning out. And in canvassing the entire area, it's like night and day when you knock on doors. You know, the reactions that you get from people. I mean, I was up in northwestern McHenry County, and people on our walk lists had Jeannie Ives signs on their front lawn. I mean, when that happens, there's something wrong.
All right. Well, Alison, how can you get Jeannie Ives voters to vote Democrat? That's a real challenge.
Well, I think you'd find that you have more. You can find issues that you can unite with on the other side of the aisle. I think anti-corruption is one issue. When I ran a little piddly Sugar Grove trustee position, I took a strong stance on TIFs and sales tax rebates, and I got pushback from Democrats about that. But when I sent out a mailer, the people who contacted me back, the people I got feedback from, were actually strong Republicans. I think you can find issues, and it's not just TIFs and sales tax rebates. Some even respond to Medicare for all. And I think you can find these issues, these populist economic issues, that you can connect with anyone, not just Republicans, independents as well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the TIFs. Even Republicans hate TIFs, and yet we have TIFs everywhere. There's TIFs in McHenry. You tell me there's TIFs in McHenry County?
Well, I'm in Kane County.
Kane County.
And I live in a town of like 10,000, not even 10,000 people, and there are 2 TIFs there. What shocked me is the city of Chicago, I think, has like 200, right?
Well, 100, who knows, 150. It goes up and down. You know, Rom's always playing games with the TIF thing, but whatever. Say 150B.
Yeah, the city of Aurora has like 100, and that's...
Wow, I did not know they had that many.
Yeah.
I knew they were out there. You know, that just goes... What town are you from in Kane County?
I'm from Sugar Grove.
Sugar Grove. Hey, Sugar Grove people, wake up. That TIF scam? They're just taking your money. Wake up, Sugar Grove. Sorry for that. I didn't mean to do that, Alison. Peter, and you must have taken some pleasure or delight in the outcome in Pennsylvania on Tuesday. In many ways, the congressional campaign in Pennsylvania, I believe it's the 18th, correct me if I'm wrong, Connor Lamb won, was a blueprint for what you could do to some degree in the 14th congressional with Randy Hultgren in November. Do you agree or disagree with me?
Oh, I totally agree, because the thing about the pushback that we're getting is we were endorsed by Our Revolution Illinois, and if you go onto Our Revolution Illinois' endorsement page and look at our bios, you can see that we're all like activists and organizers, and you would think the Democratic Party would be welcoming people like us with open hands, because nobody's turning out to vote. We have extremely low voter turnout in McHenry County, and I believe that we're the type of people that the party needs to energize the voters.
How did you see Tuesday's election in Pennsylvania, Alison? What lessons do you get from that?
The biggest lesson I took is that Lamb campaigned on a populist, progressive economic message. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he won, if you ask my opinion.
And so, in other words, he was very pro-union. Mm-hmm. Now, how would a pro-union stance work in Kane County or McHenry County in the 14th district?
I think it would be fine.
Yeah.
I don't see why you'd have a problem running that in Kane County.
Well, the reason I raise that is...
the 14th. I think the 14th congressional district is a really competitive district. I know that 2 years ago was a rough year for Democrats. Mm-hmm. And Jim Walz got like $50,000 more votes than John Ossoff, mm-hmm. with a fraction of the money that he got. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a competitive district.
Well, Bruce Rauner, since he took office and he ran on this platform, has been bashing unions. He's trying to erode the laws to protect unions. And right now he's got a case before the Supreme Court, Janus, Janus, that would really put the hammer down on unions, because it would allow people to still get the representation of a union but not pay any fees to the union. So it would deprive the unions of the money they need, in part to fund the Democrats. More power to the Republicans. Seems to be, yet the people in McHenry and Kane voted for Rauner anyway. The contradiction there between people who are in unions, support unions, say they support unions, go vote for an anti-union Republican governor. Please explain that to me, Peter.
Okay. Our county board is controlled by Republicans, and I think for the last 2 years, they've been very busy at work trying to get rid of prevailing wage. Mm-hmm. So I cannot understand why anybody would be behind the Republicans on our county board.
Same thing with you, Alison? Yeah. Well, the other thing that I noticed from Connor Lamb's election in Pennsylvania is that he distanced himself from Nancy Pelosi and the National Dems, and he actually said he would not vote for Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker if the Democrats were to take control of the House. Do you think that's a message that would also work in the 14th Congressional in terms of people distancing themselves from the National Democrats?
No, I think that would be a bad strategy out in McHenry County, because essentially we have very few people stepping forward to run for office. Our Democratic ballot is pretty bleak, a lot of no candidate positions, and I think we need to be all inclusive. I think we have more in common than we have in differences.
Well, I distance myself from certain leadership within the Democratic Party. I think that, like the Mike Madigan Chicago machine wing of the party, the further you get out from that, I think the people are very disconnected from it, and they have resentment, and it just looks corrupt to them.
That is Alison Squires. Peter Janko is also in the studio. I'm Ben Joravsky. We'll be right back.
Ioana Salajanu is running for Cook County Circuit Court Judge on March 20th. She's an immigrant who came to the U.S. on political asylum. She lived on welfare in Detroit. Ioana understands what it means to be a person without power, and Ioana understands how to change things. She's been a lawyer for almost 20 years and has been raising her 3 very active boys at the same time. Let Ioana bring her hard work, ethics, and intelligence into the courtroom for us. Together, we can make history. Vote for Ioana Salajanu on March 20th.
This ad is paid for and approved by Ioana Salajanu for Judge.
Hi, this is Bill Press. When you get to work, don't leave us in the car. Stream us live at WCPT820.com and listen all day, because facts matter.
Spring is a time of transformation where we say goodbye to winter, where the days get longer and the sky gets brighter. This spring, the Audi Exchange of Highland Park believes it's time for you to transform how you drive. We want you to be exceptional this spring. That's why we're the Midwest's leading Audi dealer in sales and service. With over 700 new Audis to choose from, we have the Audi you're looking for. Transform how you drive with a new 2018 Audi A4. Lease for just $279 a month for 36 months. Or lease a new 2018 Audi Q5. Only $339 a month for 36 months. The Audi Exchange of Highland Park. Expect the exceptional. View our entire selection at AudiExchange.com. Most tax title license acquisition and doctrine. A4 3472. Q5 4532 with fixed inception. Q5 MSRP 42475. Includes owner loyalty rebate. A4 MSRP 36975. Includes owner or competitive owner rebate. Must finance through AFS. Security deposit waive. See dealer for details.
My name is Alexandra Eidenberg, and I'm running for state representative in the 17th District. I am the real progressive Democrat in my race. I've spent years fighting for our rights in Springfield. As a community activist, small business owner, and mom, I understand our democratic values. I could continue talking about my endorsements and credentials, but I'd rather talk to you about what I can do for you. My values on gun violence prevention are simple. I support gun dealer licensing and restraining orders. Let's protect our community by banning silencers, bump stocks, large capacity magazines, and dig deep to take handguns off our streets. I am also committed to never taxing retirement income. I will not tax folks that have worked hard all their life earning their pensions, 401ks, and Social Security. We have an obligation to take care of our retirees. I'm going to take my hard work ethic to Springfield and be your fighter. I am not the machine candidate. I am your candidate. Together, let's move Illinois forward. This is Alexandra Eidenberg, and I approve this message.
In the words of the late, great Shirley Chisholm, I'm unbought and unbossed. This is Sharon Fairley, Democratic candidate for Illinois Attorney General. I've dedicated my life to pursuing justice and holding the powerful accountable. And for that, 5 of the state's largest newspapers say I'm the best choice as an independent and proven change agent. I fought to reform the Chicago Police Department, holding police officers accountable and confronting the code of silence. As Attorney General, I want to fix our broken criminal justice system, ending mass incarceration, and bring safety to our streets and communities. I'll stand up to the Trump administration's unjust attacks on women, immigrants, and minorities. I've been taking on bigots and bullies my whole life. As Attorney General, I'll keep fighting them and fighting for us. On March 20th, vote for the unbought and unbossed candidate. Punch 14 for Sharon Fairley, Democrat for Attorney General.
Paid for by Friends for Fairley. You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Welcome back to the Ben Joravsky Show. Ben, take it away.
All right, will do. We got Bernie Janko, Alison Squires are running sort of as like the Bernie Dems in the 14th Congressional District State Central Committeeman and Committeewoman race. Any closing thoughts you got for us? Let's go ladies first, as Peter suggested. Alison, you got any closing thoughts?
Yes, I do. Please. If you're not in the 14th, go to Our Revolution Illinois or Illinois Progressive Network and see if there is a progressive running for State Central Committee in your congressional district. Because we have progressives running for this position all across the state. So please go see if they're running in your district.
Very good. And Peter?
I can't second that strongly enough. In addition, give us both a look. Alison's on Facebook, so it's Alison Squires, and I am Peter Janko. That's Janko, and the way to find me is very simple to remember. It's Pete for Illinois, so PETE, the number 4, and Illinois, and hopefully you guys know how to spell that.
Very good. Peter Janko, Alison Squires, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
In the words of the late, great Shirley Chisholm, I'm unbought and unbossed. This is Sharon Fairley, Democratic candidate for Illinois Attorney General. I've dedicated my life to pursuing justice and holding the powerful accountable. And for that, 5 of the state's largest newspapers say I'm the best choice as an independent and proven change agent. I fought to reform the Chicago Police Department, holding police officers accountable and confronting the code of silence. As Attorney General, I want to fix our broken criminal justice system, ending mass incarceration, and bring safety to our streets and communities. I'll stand up to the Trump administration's unjust attacks on